fires one towards the goal. That's going to be gloved by Travis Ridgen. Well, this is more like it.
This is Slangin' the Biscuit. Here's Travis Ridgen and Dave Wheeler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sling the Biscuit summer interview series that has slowly trickled into the fall interview series. Today's guest is a good personal friend, the most viewed episode ever on YouTube in the history of this show, the most listened to episode, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to. This man has the number one most listened, most watched show in the history of Sling the Biscuit. He punches in bunches. FPHL champion, all-star, personal friend, father, Mr. Daniel Diamond Hands Amesbury. Hey. Welcome to the show. Again, two times.
What an intro.
Well, they say shake it once, that's fine. Shake it twice, that's okay. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with yourself. So it might be a fetish the third time you come back.
There you go. Well, you're in the right chair for it. So.
Anyway, we are broadcasting to you live from the Royal Hotel, probably one of the nicest hotels in all of Kelowna.
Yeah.
Which is where you do your summer training, not at the hotel, but in the city of Kelowna. I'm doing some travel stuff for my travel series. So we got this beautiful suite hooked up by Destination BC. And so that's where we are coming to you live from this evening.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've spent some time here in the past. When I was younger, I told you at this hotel, but Kelowna is a great place. I love it here. Just the Okanagan in general. I spend my summers, I train in Vernon, but Vernon
How did you
Kelowna.
get introduced to Kelowna? Because you're from Maple Ridge, right?
Yeah, so like obviously, when I was young, I grew up here, and then when I first played my first season pro in the SPHL, I came back for the summer and I didn't want to go back to my hometown. I just kind of wanted to just stay focused on hockey. And I have some family up in Kelowna, so I decided I was going to come up here and work and train in Kelowna, and that was the first time I ever stayed up here. And then it was pretty much every summer after that. And then I always had roots here with my cousins and stuff being up here. And then just last year, I came back just to visit some family. I brought my family to visit some of our family and stuff for the summer. And I ended up, I was looking for a skate. We were going to be here for about a week or 2 weeks just to visit. And I found a really good group of guys that I trained with off the ice, on the ice. Next thing you know, 1 week turns to 2 weeks, 2 weeks turns to 3 weeks. We ended up staying for 7 weeks last summer. And so then this summer we just said, well, why don't we just go back there and spend the whole summer and get to see our family lots, and the kids get to see their cousins and stuff like that. I'm not far from obviously where I grew up in Maple Ridge, so we came back for the summer, and this is kind of where I've been training the last couple of years.
Isn't it kind of cool though how you built this Rolodex through hockey, and you can fire out a message, find a skate almost within reason, almost anywhere.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's like like I said, up here, skates are starting to get a little thinner this time of year. Obviously, there's not as many people here, so we leave tomorrow. We're heading back down to the coast, to the Vancouver area, and obviously a lot more guys to skate there. But I already send a couple texts. Boom, skates are all lined up, and lots of people to train with off the ice, on the ice, and stuff down there too. So, yeah, hockey is it's a smaller world than you think. Everybody seems to know the same guys, and everybody always wants to help out with another hockey guy and stuff like that, so it's cool.
I know we're in very different boats, with you're still very actively playing and I'm on the done side of things.
Yeah.
But even after playing, various teammates that I had, like Watertown, Mississippi, whatnot, they fly into Vancouver. Hey Trav, I'm in town, you want to grab a coffee, you want to catch up? And that community aspect, that brotherhood, the bond you made when you were there, that it lasts a lifetime. And I think that's probably one thing I miss the most about the game.
Yeah, well, I have a pretty different outlook, like a special outlook on it, because I was retired from the game for 8 years. So I went through kind of where you're at right now. I've been through that process, so I understand it. And I think that's what makes me so grateful coming back through again, being so present with it, just enjoying the bus rides, enjoying the grind and stuff like that. Because like I said, the stuff you miss the most, for me anyways, was the dressing room and the boys and having the guys around. You miss the game, of course. That's inevitable. You're gonna miss the game, but I feel like the thing that I thought about the most was the room, and just sitting at the back of the bus playing cards and schnarps and whatever sort of gambling antics are going on at the back of the bus, or jokes or whatever. So that's the stuff that I missed, and it's nice to get an opportunity to come back full circle and get to go through it again, and this time kind of be a little bit more present for it and in the moment. So,
did you miss the pursuit aspect of things as well?
Yeah, of course. I think I tried to kind of keep that going as much as I could with other things. Obviously, you get into the rat race, you kind of redirect into that. You can kind of direct into wanting, okay, I'm going to chase this goal maybe financially, or or something like that. And then I also had lacrosse. I did play a little bit of lacrosse at a pretty high level in my time off as well. So that, we only play, 18 games a season. I would probably play about 10 or 12. I think 12 was kind of my average. So it's, it's not tons, but at least it still gave me that buzz and that, get to see the boys and stuff for a short period of time in the summertime. But yeah, it's the chase and the hunt. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think, everybody knows it's played the game. It's like the hunt and the chase and just having the whole, process of getting there. It's like when you get there, you're like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? Like now what's the next chase? What's the next hunt, right? So yeah, that's definitely a big part of it.
I feel like I found a lot of that with like doing the Muay Thai, the kickboxing, which is kind of funny because you're so skilled at that. We've been talking about getting some sparring sessions in, which I know very well will not probably go my way. But the challenge of, well, if I go sparring with Diamond Hands, that'll give me something to look forward to and something to prepare for and give me a little bit of purpose for that day and maybe the next couple of weeks lining up to it. And I feel like that sense of like what you just mentioned, almost the masculine essence of pushing that boulder up the hill is what is missing the most out of my life. Because even though I'm still making my videos and whatnot, it's not quite the same as going to morning skate every day, going on the road trip, and then battling with the guys to try to squeak out 2 points, and then head on down to Danbury to Motor City, wherever to get the next game in. Yeah,
having something to like, having a goal and like a date on the wall. The thing that kind of really got it going again for me, obviously a lot of people know, but like when I had Ice Wars. And Ice Wars was cool because it was the first time in a long time.
What is Ice Wars for those that don't know?
Yeah, okay, so Ice Wars is essentially what happened was there's a hockey fighting tournament on ice. So that's all it was. There's no hockey. It was just fighting on ice. So essentially UFC on skates. And so the first one that they had done, it kind of was coming out, and obviously I ended up doing Ice Wars. But just the big thing that changed everything for me and kind of pushed me towards the mentality of even considering coming out of retirement was having that date on the wall. Having that date on the calendar, like I knew, okay, on May, I think it was like May 6th or something, whatever date it was, May 20th, this is the day that I'm fighting. And it was like, okay, I have to bear down and train my ass off from this day. And I just dialed in, and it was the first time in a long time where I was just like had this savage routine where it was just like 3 days at three different times of the day. I had the full workout already structured. I knew everything I was eating, and like my body was in tip-top shape again, and it felt so good. And then I got there, and it was like, when I won, I felt like I had already known that I had won just because of how hard I trained. Like it was like, I kind of got there, and then I was kind of like, okay, now what? When's the next date? You know what I mean? Like the exact same thing. It's like you get there and you get this great reward of like, okay, I got everything I put into this, it paid off, and I got this, and then you enjoy it, and then you kind of recome to the standard, and you're kind of like, where's the next date? You know what I mean? You're kind of, and I think that's just life in general. It's kind of a cool lesson in life in general. Like having something in a direction that you need to go is very crucial, because you can just float around forever and not go in one direction, just pay the bills and do this. But if you don't have something to work towards, then you're not gonna move towards it. So I feel like it is a cool life lesson, but it was a big part of what got me playing hockey again, and putting dates on I feel like constantly putting dates on the wall of things to aim for and goals to have and stuff like that. So
what did your training look like for that though?
It was pretty intense. So like in the mornings I would do a lift. So I do, go do like my weight training stuff, a lot of like power and speed and core stuff. And then I would go around that would be like 6 a.m. I'd eat, have a little bit of rest, and then around like 10-ish, 10:30, I would get on the ice and I'd do a bag skate. And that was like, my bag skate was pretty well, I wouldn't say every day. It was like a couple days a week, few days a week, just to be on the ice.
No pucks, just a bag skate.
Well, yeah, honestly, I was in a mini rink, and I would have a timer set, and I would go 1 minute down and backs on the mini rink. So it's like not like you're skating, you're stopping and starting lots. And I would down and back for a minute as hard as I could, and then I would rest and then let my heart rate come back down. And I'd go down and back because it was 1 minute rounds. And I would just do that. I would set a timer, and I would just down and backs. And then later that night, I would drive out to my gym in Surrey, my friend's gym, and do boxing and just train my hands and stuff and my speed. And it was fun, and it felt good. I was fully committed. I had amazing sponsorship behind me that gave me the ability to just fully dial in for the fights. I couldn't have done it without all the people that supported me, which is amazing. I think a lot of the people that seen kind of where I was, like what I was coming out of, and like my retirement and the depression and all the stuff that makes being retired hard, and you know, the regular struggles I feel like that lots of guys go through on their way out of the game, to kind of have an opportunity to get out of it and prove that, you know what I mean, I can get out of this. And I think so I had a lot of support. A lot of people came up and were like, oh my God, Amesbury's doing this? No way. Like, I seen that guy a few years ago. There's no way. I was probably 240 pounds fat. Like, there's no way he's doing this now. And I was dialed in, and people seeing how dialed in it was. So it was cool to see a lot of people kind of step up and support me during it and give me the ability to train like I did. And it was a very grueling camp. But when I got there, it was the fighting was the easy part, because I was in such good shape. I feel like by the time I got to the finals, it was almost like a cheat code, because I just had so much more cardio left. I had so much more gas in the tank. So we had to fight 3 times in one night. So.
And you went back-to-back years winning, correct?
Yeah, I won all 3. So
any big names that you took down?
Yeah, so I fought in round 1, Derek Parker, who's like a LNAH guy, played in the Quebec Fighting League, and I think he had like 500 pro fights in the Quebec League. Like, obviously that's a pretty tough league. So I fought him first round, and that was for sure my hardest fight. We had a battle. I won that one in the overtime round. He won 1 round, I won 1 round. We went into a tiebreaker. They had a tiebreaker round, and I won that round.
Is there a strategic reason why they pair you off, or just luck?
It was random. It was a random draw. And, you know, the fact that me and him got put in the first round, we were probably like, you know, pretty top caliber guys in the whole group, and we got matched up in the first round. So it was pretty intense. Like, everyone was kind of like, whoa. You know what I mean? To have that could have potentially been a finals fight. And then second round, Chase Tippin. Obviously, Federal League heavy enforcer. He's been around for, you know, anybody that's been around the Fed knows who Chase Tippin is. He was around as long as I was. He was playing when I was a rookie, I think, in the Fed. So he had tons of pro fights under his belt. Big boy also. They're both pretty big boys. And then in the finals, it was Sawyer, who... Sawyer, I fought him in the Central League in, you know, 2013, 2014, in those years. And he's 6'6", you know, I think he was like 290 pounds. He's a big boy.
At the time you're fighting?
At the time we fought him. No, at the time we fought him, like, he was a big boy. So it was cool, man. Like, everyone that I fought was like legit. Like, it wasn't like, you know, they didn't just pick some guys up, you know. The guy somehow got matched up with, like, you know, some of the top guys with experience. So it was cool, man. It was a really fun experience, and like I said, I feel like I got rewarded for the work that I put in. So
you're saying it's not like Joe Pace and the Seawolves going down to Carolina, half the team doesn't show up and they're pulling guys out of the crowd?
No,
Did you play D tonight?
No, it wasn't like that. It was cool though to the first event. I feel like even to this day, I feel like the first event was the best one. I came back the second one, but the first event I feel like had the best like. The tournament had like the most, like, the best, you know, roster, I would say. Lots of experience, lots of games played. It was a good time too. We had a blast after, you know, I try and explain this to people. Imagine going on a road trip with a team full of hockey fighters, like just the enforcers, a whole team of them in the same hotel. So just imagine what that was like. And then we finish our event, and then everybody goes to the bar. And that was what it was. It was
a good time.
A hockey team of enforcers. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, and it was cool to see just how everybody got along. Everybody beat the crap out of each other, and then we all went out and, you know, had a time. And, you know, my mom's sitting there shaking Sawyer's hand. She's a picture with Sawyer. My mom's like freaking 4 feet tall. She's got a picture beside Sawyer. She's up to his hip, and I remember before the fight, she shook his hand because, like, I knew him for years, right? She shook his hand, and she comes up to me after. She's like, "Oh my God, have you seen how big his hands are?" I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, Mom. Like, thanks. Like, you know, that's what I want to hear right now. The day before I'm gonna have to fight this guy, like, how big his hands are." Like, I'm well aware. Yeah, I'm well aware. Yeah. So, but it was a really good time. It was fun.
You haven't done that in a couple of years, though, right?
Yeah, it's been, I think, since I got to the coast. I haven't had any fights, no boxing, nothing like that. I'd love to, but it's just hard, man. Like, obviously, I can't do it during the season, and then you get into the off season after like a season in the coast. It's pretty tough to get a fight in when you're you spend the first month recovering and healing, and it's like you got in a freaking car accident after hockey season. So you're recovering, and then you start training again. So it's hard to squeeze it in. I'd love to, but it just hasn't worked out just yet. But I'd love to do a boxing match more than anything.
Well, especially with your role, with how physically you play and the amount of fights that you have, I can only imagine the mileage you're trying to roll back on the odometer after the season?
Yeah, just recovery, maintenance, stretching. Obviously, I'm not like 20 years old anymore, so I can't just show up to the rink and hop on the ice like I used to.
How is your body though? Because we had, I remember you mentioned him last year, Justin Schmidt, when you were in Danbury, he was in Elmira, you're having friendly fights, and then you're having not so friendly fights, and then you're still chopping it up afterwards. When we had him on the show earlier in the summer, he was talking about how his hands are mangled, some head issues and whatnot. Like, where are you sitting at as far as the mileage goes?
I feel like really good. I think the time off served me really well. Like, I was off for 8 years, so like obviously I played lacrosse, I was still fighting a little bit, but it wasn't hockey season for those 8 years, so I feel like it served me very well. My body feels great. I feel like I take care of it better now than I ever did before with stretching and maintenance and stuff like that. But everything feels good. Like regular wear and tear, obviously we fight, our hands are going to be sore. I mean, my hands have been I've been dealing with my hands for a while where they get a little sore. Like junior hockey, you're punching helmets off and stuff like that, but nothing really concerning. I'm sure I'll have arthritis when I'm older. The melon I'm pretty careful with. I think I had my last CT scan I got like 3 years ago. So I'll do one every 5 years just to see if they notice anything changing or whatever. And just like, I didn't do that or care to do that when I was young, but I feel like it's just smart to kind of take care of that stuff. If I get buzzed real bad, and I'll do the concussion protocol and stuff like that, like if I need it. So it's not like when I was young, I would just I'd rattle my brains and go out and fight again the next night. I think everybody who's been through that before, but I'm a lot smarter about it now, and obviously well aware of, the dangers and stuff. And with that, it's not an easy role in the body by any means, but I feel like the body's doing well. So other than the regular wear and tear, I feel like so.
Well, this is how you put food on the table as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like obviously you're not necessarily playing in the ECHL for the money, but I mean, I do have a family and stuff, and I'm able to do it. I'm able to pull it off. You have to figure out other things like, you have to, you know how it is. I'm sure you know how it is. You got the podcast and stuff like that, but yeah, man, it's been a really good. It's been a really cool thing to see what I've been able to bring out of it financially. I never thought I'd get to the point where I'd be able to make the money that I've made playing hockey in the past few years, and progressively it's gotten more and more. And then with merch and stuff, and I have great fans. Like I know how it is too on that end with being able to do sponsorship stuff with maybe whatever you need, you end up getting it sent to you, and you just make a post. Like it's just cool to see where I've been able to get it to the point where I do what I do with my family. We've traveled all over the U.S. We just did a 3-week road trip back from Kansas City. We camped in 7 states. Like I've done all of this through hockey and my social media stuff, and just figuring it out as we go, and just being confident that everything will be fine and the universe will provide. And that's kind of how it's been going. It's been very, very cool to see it work out. So.
And I'm happy for you, man. I love seeing you succeed, because the more I see you succeed, the more I want to kind of push myself. And I would assume the more I succeed, you want to, and we kind of go back and forth with our friendship. But I want to come back to your family in a second, because I would like to talk a little bit about that just as a man for a second. But as far as the money goes, have you had any big signing bonuses, any big purchases with the signing bonuses?
No big bonuses. Like the ECHL deals are a little different. I feel like you'll get a signing bonus, obviously, with NHL deals and stuff like that. ECHL deals are pretty straightforward. It's just week to week. You get paid per week. In comparison, the crazy thing is, like, so if you look at what I made last season and I compared it when I worked on the tugboats, I was making $40 an hour on the tugboats.
Tugboats, for those that don't know.
Tugboats is basically like, the boats that bring in all the ships they push the ships into the docks, or they tow the barges up the river, they tow the logs up the river. So I had that job. I was in the Longshoremen's Union. Very good job, good benefits. This is what I was doing when I was retired.
This is with friend of the show, Tyrell Hammer Jackson.
Tyrell Hammer Jackson obviously plays for Las Vegas Desert Dogs in the NLL. Good friend of mine. He's actually playing right now in the Mann Cup against Six Nations Chiefs. He's playing for New West, so good luck to Hammer. Hopefully he wins that Mann Cup. I didn't, unfortunately, but I do have a Mann Cup goal, which is like a Stanley Cup. So that's my claim to fame in all of sports. But yeah, so I worked with Tyrell, same company. So me and Tyrell would go out, we'd work together. It was actually a pretty fun job. Lots of athletes out there, because it's a pretty hard job physically. But it was a really good paying job. And I was doing the math the other day, And what I make playing in the ECHL, by the time you do the exchange with the dollar, the American dollar compared to the Canadian dollar, I'm pretty much in the exact same boat as a good paying full-time job, $40 an hour in Canada. So it's pretty cool to see I'm able to do that with hockey, and that's just from hockey. That's not including my social media stuff that I'm able to do and my merch sales and all that stuff. So it's been really special to be able to get to the point where now I have more time with my kids. I'm able to do what I am able to do in the summertime with the kids and stuff like that, and with traveling and seeing the country and doing trips and stuff. So yeah, it's been really cool, and I'm sure the exchange rate helps quite a bit in that department, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, it's pretty cool to kind of realize that, man, I'm doing the same as I was doing before, but I'm playing hockey. My kids are around the game. I have more time with the kids, and I'm building this brand and this platform that's going to provide for us forever. So.
Just keep printing that money, baby. Keep making that money go up in value.
Yeah, so it's been fun. So
this episode is awesome, but it would be a lot better if you could hear it with crystal clear audio, which is why JLab is the presenting sponsor for this show and the presenting sponsor for this episode. Crystal clear audio. We're talking their sport wireless earbud. Whether you're looking for something for training, you're looking for something at the gym, JLab has it all. With the sport earbuds, we're talking 20 hours of Bluetooth playback. They're sweat-proof. They have a no-slip strip, so they grip on nicely, and noise canceling for crystal clear calls. The over-the-ear headphones have 40-plus hours of active noise canceling, 70 hours of audio playback without the active noise canceling on. And what are you waiting for? Right now, go to the link in the description. Use our code. You're going to get yourself 10% off an amazing set of headphones or earbuds from JLab.
It's like you were in my head this entire time. That sounded fantastic. Thank you, JLabs.
Back to the show.
Back to your family for a second. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
with you being a father and whatnot. So I found this interesting getting to know you in our relationship. I know you sent me a really funny video last night of your kids. I feel like when I look through your comments every now and then, specifically on videos that do well, no woman will ever love you. This guy's an incel. This guy has no friends. Insert the laundry list of chirps of people that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And not only do you have a woman, not only have you reproduced not once, not twice, not 3 times, you have a whole family.
Yeah.
And so I want to chat about that a bit, because you have a family, you have kids, you have that duty and that responsibility while also playing professional hockey. How have you been able to manage that and be successful?
Finding the right partner, finding a partner that supports what I'm doing and understands the sacrifices that had to be made. Because essentially,
can I ask for like an example of that? Because I know what you're talking about, but for people listening, what does that mean?
Well, for instance, for me to come out of retirement, I'm quitting my job, I'm leaving my spot in the union, in the Longshore Union, leaving everything behind, going to Danbury to play in the Federal League with this long-term plan that I'm going to build a platform with AJ. We're going to make hockey tough again. I'm going to get to the ECHL. I'm going to get to the American League. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to build a brand, and then when I'm all retired, I can coach and use my brand to create this nonprofit to make hockey affordable for kids. And I write it down on paper, but to have a woman that's like, all right, pack your bags, let's go. That's why I'm able to do it, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Jamie behind me. So it's not easy to find these days, but I'm very grateful to have that, and there's no way I would have been able to pull this off with anyone else. So.
Oh, trust me, dude. I'm in the trenches. I know what you're talking about. They're hard to come by.
Yeah. So I think that's the most important thing, and I can't say I've gotten. I'm on the way of where my goals are, and I know I'm going to be successful down the road and where I want to be with all this other stuff that I have to get towards. But the one thing I will say is, like, the most important thing in getting successful in anything is having a supportful, like, long term, having a supportful woman behind you. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna have kids and you're gonna do this, like, you have to have something. Like, she's gotta, at the end of the day, I'm gone for 6 days at a time, like, a lot. I'll go on a road trip with the boys, and she's at home homeschooling the kids, taking care of them, and I'm not there to help for that whole time. The cool trade-off is when I'm in town, I work out in the morning, I go to practice, and I'm done for the day. I get to spend the whole day with the kids. Whatever the family wants to do, we have tons of freedom. She's a stay-at-home mom, and we just figure it out. Like, we always have a ton of faith in the universe providing, and that she has tons of faith in me doing what my job is, which is to kind of keep us going. And it's been fun. It's been a challenge at times, but it gets easier, I think, as we move up the ladder and as things kind of obviously are building more and more. But I would say the start of it was the hardest time in Danbury when we first got there, and you left everything behind, you peeled the Band-Aid, and you're like, all right, here we are now. It's a pretty risky scenario to be in with your family and your kids, but we just wanted to do it. We're like, let's go on an adventure. Like, when else are we gonna do this? Seriously, you know what I mean? That was what it was. We sat there, I joked around for a couple weeks about it. And we're like, hey, I write it down. I'm starting to write the numbers down. I'm like, oh, cost of living in Vancouver. Now I'm trying to make every angle to make this look better on paper, right? When I bring it to her. And then I finally get it. I'm like, I convinced myself, I'm like, man, like, this isn't that far off. Like, yeah, it's a sacrifice for sure. But I was like, I think we can get there. I think we can get to exactly where we are and have way more doors open in front of us to keep building. And, I want to get into real estate. That was another thing. But I don't want to build a real estate portfolio in Canada. I want to do that in the US because it's a lot more affordable. You can get a lot more doors. And so this is another opportunity. Let's get across the border. Let's see the States. Let's see where we want to end up in America. And so that's another thing. The whole time I'll be on road trips. I'm doing courses on real estate, learning about Section 8 rentals, learning about wholesaling houses and stuff like this. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was on the tugboat still. And I probably wouldn't even have had interest in doing it because I would have been so tired from working and stuff like that. So I think it's been amazing. It's been a fun thing, but at the end of the day, we decided we're just going to go on a journey. Let's take the kids. They've been to probably 30 states at this point, and we're just on an adventure, man. It's been a blast.
So you're telling me you're not just some meathead who just shows up in the morning, skate, takes no reps, fights and goes home, that's it? More layers to meet the eye?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the brand, right? Like, that's kind of the brand I've built. I don't post my family on social media. I don't really talk about my family too much. This is actually I talk about them a little bit on the podcast with AJ, but I'm not out there too much about it. I find one of the most valuable things about family is just the privacy, which not many people have anymore. A lot of people want to post online, which I get. There's nothing I want to do more. That's why I sent you that video of my kids yesterday, scrapping it out and just getting after it, like you probably would have imagined my kids to be doing. But I want to share those. I want to share those with the world and post them online. But I also think that this is a cruel world. There's a lot of people out there that I don't necessarily trust. I don't really want it out on the internet and stuff. So I just decided if my kids want to share that stuff, when they're old enough, they can make that decision for themselves. I don't want to put them out there yet. And so that's the decision that me and Jamie had made on that subject. So yeah, we don't share it too much, but I'm very proud. I'm very proud dad, very proud partner, and there's nothing I take more pride in my life than being a good father and loving my kids. So that's
awesome, man. And plus, you get to send me a video, I get a smile, and I think to myself, damn, like 15 to 18 more years, the whole NHL is going to have an army of Amesburys, army of diamond hands coming at you.
Oh my God, man. That's what I said the other day. I was like, I can't wait to see them on the forecheck.
I was going to say, are you planning to have like a full lineup? Because you just need a goalie and you're good to go.
Getting close, yeah. We're getting pretty close. So, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the plan, but looking at it now, it might be. So we'll see what happens here. But the cool part is like just them being around the game. Like my boys, they don't know, well, all of them, they don't really know that men do other stuff. Like to them, all their uncles, like we're always on the road, like we're not back here with our family too much. So like we're on the road, like their uncles, I like call them their uncles. The guys on my team are like their uncles. This is our family, right? So everywhere we go, your family's the boys, right? So they see all these guys, and what do the boys do? They play hockey. So like Wes, like my middle son, I don't even think he knows that men do other things. He's like, men play hockey. That's what men do. Wes, what are you gonna do when you grow up? Play hockey. What do you mean? What else would I do? That's what men do, right? Like, so that alone makes it all worth it. He doesn't need any push. He loves the game more than anyone. So it's like that alone is a huge, huge factor why I wanted to come out of retirement too. Get to bringing the kids into the room after a win and just having them go around in the room and giving everyone knuckles and seeing the guys get a huge smile on their face. And I feel like it always surprises guys when they don't really know, and then they see Amesbury rolls in with a pack of kids, and they're like, "Well, Amesbury, whose kids?" He's like, "Oh, my kids." They're like, "What? We thought you were just this big meathead, But which I mean, I guess you could say I am. But
Amesbury, which one's yours? All of them. All
the ones with the mullets, yeah.
All 5 of them.
The mullet crew, yeah. No, so it's really fun. And,
would you agree? At least I've noticed in my experiences, most of the time, the fighters have the most kids.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure about that. I always notice, like, I've always felt like it was like a lot of the fighters don't want their kids, like, I noticed they always have tough kids, but they're always pretty skilled. Like, you know, Ty Domi's kids, obviously pretty skilled, but I always get surprised when I see the second generation, like legit heavies. Like right now, I just got a video of a buddy of mine, Dale Purrington's son, and he's beating someone up in junior, and his other kid just had a fight with BX's son at Giants camp. And I think he did pretty good. Yeah, and he's a young kid. He's like 15. But Purrington was a heavyweight in the NHL. And I'm like, I feel like it's not too often you see the next generation that just are straight heavyweights, because guys are like, man, I don't want my kid to go through that. Like, I say it to Wes all the time. He's just little, right? And I'll say it to him, Wes, I don't care what you do, just score lots of goals. Just trust me, man. Like, just focus on scoring goals. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not, you know, I love my job and I love being the guy to take care of everybody, but like, you know, we talked about it earlier, you're getting miles on the body that you don't necessarily need to be getting, you know. I'd much rather have you go score the goals, let someone else you can take care of your own business when it's time, but it's sure nice to have someone else take care of it for you.
Have you seen the, I think Max Domi, he posted a video on Instagram a couple weeks ago of him in the gym working the pads.
Oh yeah.
The boxing gym.
Okay, yeah.
He's looking pretty skilled. I don't know if you've seen that video or not.
No, I haven't seen it yet, but no, I mean, I've seen him fight, like in hockey. Like he's a pretty tough little cookie. He's not big, obviously. His dad was probably one of the most impressive guys in the NHL, considering who he was fighting, when he was fighting them, and just how small he was. I don't think there's many people that like you can tip your hat to like that. Like he's fighting Probert in his prime. I don't even know what was Domi. You think 5'10"?
5'9", 5'10".
5'9" or 5'10", fighting freaking Probert. Like that's, so I was thinking about that the other day. He's got to be one of the most impressive guys as far as that. And you know, love to see, like, for him he's always at the game, the camera's always on him, like doesn't crack a freaking smile, this guy. Like he does, but not often.
You follow him on Instagram at all, Ty Domi?
Ty Domi? No, I don't. No.
Dude, he's literally teaching Tom Brady how to skate.
Is he? Yeah, I did see some of those videos, but I didn't know if it was on Ty Domi's page. But that's hilarious. Yeah.
I love watching those. Whenever he posts them, and he's just tripping Tom, and Tom's smiling, and Domi's smiling right back at him, and then he fires back some more trips at Tom, and like, you're tripping the goat, but obviously the goat doesn't know how to skate.
That's hilarious.
Apparently, total side note, but Tom Brady says that if there's anything that he wants to do in life now, he wants to learn how to play hockey properly. And I find it funny how Ty Domi, of all people, is teaching him how to play hockey. I'm not saying Ty doesn't know how to fight, or sorry, doesn't know how to play hockey. Yeah. But I thought, what a beautiful collaboration that is.
Well, I always say, like, I feel like one day when I'm finally at the point when I'm coaching, like, I feel like as an enforcer, you're probably the most coached guy. Right? Because, like, when you're tough, you always get to the level above where you can play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll always play out of your caliber. So if you're tough, and then all of a sudden you start figuring out at the level you're at, you're starting to be a good fed player. Now you're making some plays, getting some points. Well, guess what? Now you're going to the SP or the coast. And then as soon as you get to the speed in the coast, where you're like, oh, now I got this. Now maybe I'm getting on the third line. And then boom, you get on the third line, guess what happens? Now you're going to the American League, you're sitting on the bench again. So it's like, I feel like as an enforcer, so what happens is you're essentially always at the bottom of the totem pole of the skill, in the skill category as an enforcer. So you're always around players that are better than you, and everybody's always trying to help you and giving you pointers, and I feel like you're the most coached guy on every team. I find that, I like that. Like, I always tell guys on the team, like, hey, if you guys see something in practice where you're like, what the fuck? What is this guy doing? Like, what a bad habit that is. Like, I want you to tell me that, because like, I want to get better. And to be honest, man, I didn't play major junior. I didn't get coached by NHL players when I was in junior, when I was young, you know? So there is certain things where someone says something and I'm like, man, how have I never been taught that? Or I've never actually practiced that one skill. And then I do it a couple times. I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. I just got to push my hands out a little bit off my body. Next thing you know, you're scooping them off the wall or whatever. Like, it's just these little things. And I feel like whenever I'm skating with these NHL guys and stuff, and they say these little, I feel like it's like a little nugget, little gold nuggets. Whenever you skate with NHL guys, man, they just got these nuggets, and they'll say it. And I remember one thing. So Derek Armstrong, he was my coach in the Central League, played for LA Kings. Yep. I make sure to see him every summer, because he just loves hockey. This guy loves hockey more than anybody. And I like getting around him every year. Just, he kind of like fills me up with this love. And I'll text him if I'm like, you know, like, I'll text him. He's like, oh, hockey's the best, Ames. I'm like, you're right, man. I love hockey. It's cool. So, but when I skate with him, he always drops these little these little like things where he says it and the way he says it. So there was one thing where we were playing just like a drop-in game. And he's like, Ames, like you're just kind of floating around when you don't have the puck. You're kind of just floating around. He's like, imagine you're playing tag. He's like, you don't want anybody near you. If you're playing tag, like if people are near you, they're gonna tag you. He's like, just like you want to be out in no man's land. Just find where nobody is. You should constantly be like avoiding everybody when you're off puck. You know, when you're in fighting for ice. And I was like, just the way he said it, he kind of just dumbed it down so much for me. And I was like, how come I never even thought about that? You know, I'm sitting here kind of floating around with a guy beside me in the offensive zone off puck. Now it's like I'm like making sure that guy's nowhere near me, popping up with my stick ready, like, and it's such a simple thing, but it's just to hear it that way. I was kind of like, oh, okay. It sounds so silly. I bet you people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, what an idiot. Well, of course. You know what I mean? For sure they will. But it was just one of those things, man. I get those little nuggets skating with these guys. That's why I love it.
But aren't the greatest coaches, though, they're great communicators, but they communicate in a way where the message comes across and it's delivered
simple. Yeah.
And as long as you get the message, that's the ultimate form of communication.
Yeah. It's almost like they almost just dumb it down, or they'll say it in a way where it's just comparing it to something else where it makes it make more sense. I think that's a huge part of coaching, just good communication skills. Like I say, man, I mean, being at the level I'm at now on the coast, it's cool for me because I feel like everybody on the team has been coached by some elite coaches at some point in their life. And, you know, even me, like obviously being in the coast, it's all elite coaches. So it's really cool to kind of be around that and then have these guys I can ask anybody on the team. I can be on the bench asking a 21-year-old rookie about, like, he's maybe a different kind of player than me. Maybe he's more skilled. I'll ask him a question about maybe something like a move or something. And it's just nice because everybody's kind of like above where I'm at. So I can I have a million people to help me if I have a question or whatever. And I love hockey so much right now. I'm a student of the game. All I want to do is get better. I'm having so much fun. Fighting is literally just a mechanism for me to be there. I love it. I don't love it as much as I did when I was young. I'm not trying to bite people's heads off like I was when I was young, but more than happy to do it, to be at the highest level I can possibly be at, no problem.
So where's the sliding scale, though? Because I know we've had conversations off camera and in private and whatnot about it, but obviously, like, your skill level, like you just mentioned, is not maybe up to snuff with the level you're at, but your skill in fighting is what gets you above. So, like, where is the sliding scale where, like, you can go to the American League, but okay, but your skill is even lesser than that? I've heard lots of people tell me that he could fight in the NHL, no problem.
Yeah.
But the skill is the issue, and you can't have that kind of a liability. So, American League, maybe. You're in the East Coast, so the answer is yes.
Yeah, like, I think more now than ever, you have to have the ability to play. You can't make mistakes. Like, to get to the American League, you got to be at the point in the East Coast where you're not making mistakes. You can't be going out there every time, get the puck on the wall, and I didn't get it out again. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like simplifying your game to the max for a guy like me, just playing the most simple hockey you can, that's the most valuable thing for me. And then D-zone, obviously, like not getting scored on. That's like, for me, the most important things are trying not to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but try not to make the least amount of mistakes as you can, play as simple as you can, and just don't f up in the D-zone, don't get scored on, obviously. And if you can do those things, then hopefully you can get to the next level. You know, I feel like I did a pretty good job last year. I didn't get scored on since November. So I feel like that was pretty good. Okay, not like I'm playing 10 minutes a game, but
I was going to say season ends in May. I had an extra 3 months. That's about a 9-month span of not getting scored on.
Yeah, I got scored on. I think I was -3. I think I finished -2, but all my dashes happened in the first 2 months of the season. So
are you going back to Kansas City again?
No, I haven't re-signed. So we were talking about Derb, like getting banged up. So last season I banged up my hand pretty good. So I'm still recovering. So I'm not signing until I'm fully good to go. So I'm pretty close. I'm like 98%.
So is that a dad joke?
What's that?
Is that a dad joke? Your hand's banged up so you can't sign the contract yet?
Oh, no. Okay. No. I'm like literally, no, I just chose not to. I'm not signing anywhere until I'm 100%. I don't want to rush into anything. Once I'm fully healed, I'm going to sign, and you guys will know I've already got some stuff cooking. I'm a free agent right now. So,
I'll bleep it out. Do you have any front runners?
Yeah,
Can you tell me? I'll bleep it out.
No.
Okay.
It's in the South, though. I will be going to the South.
Oh.
the South Division.
Good weather, low taxes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not bad. Especially the Canadian money printer still turned on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only hint I'll give. I'll be in the South. So.
And so you've trained with lots of NHL guys like Matt Rempe and whatnot. Have you learned anything from guys like that? Because I feel like that's a guy that we don't really know anything about. We just know that he fights. He gets called up, he gets sent down, but like you've had personal experiences.
I haven't been on the ice with him, but I've obviously talked to him and stuff like that. I'll probably see him. I got a charity event coming up. I'll try and see him when I'm out there. I'll be out that way in New York and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've been on the ice with lots of NHL guys. I've been, I get to skate with some young kind of NHL contracted guys in the summer up here and stuff like that, which is great. But yeah, I feel like when you get to that level, you just, like I said, you're getting coached. Even as a fighter, you're getting coached by the best, and you're just getting these little tips. I'm still learning fighting stuff. Like whenever I'm around like an old NHL enforcer, I'm picking their brains, man. I want to know because everybody has these little greasy tricks up their sleeve that you wouldn't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like stuff that you wouldn't even think about. And when they tell you, they're like, "Oh, that's a legit move." And I got some of those where I would tell you, and you would be like, "Oh my God, that's so good. Why didn't I think of that?" But it's just, it's been passed down the line for me. So I look forward to when I retire and I can start putting it all online. I'm just going to do a full clinic online and just put out all my fighting skills and just do like straight coaching clinics for that when I'm done. I just don't obviously want to give them away yet. Obviously, I don't need people using them against me. But yeah, when I retire, I'll definitely share everything I know in that department.
That'd be a really cool YouTube series, learning how to fight like diamond hands with diamond hands.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
like a 10-part series, whatnot.
Yeah, and I feel like you can get as detailed as you want with it. It's like, I almost call it like, it's almost like a stand-up jiu-jitsu. It's just like a grappling kind of, it's really fun. So it's like its own little sport. So
have you trained BJJ on its own?
No, I haven't. No, I'd like to one day. I feel like it's one of those things though that as soon as I put my toes in the water, it's going to be like full tilt, pedal to the metal. So I'm kind of saving that one for when I retire. I think that'll be probably where I go full time. I can see myself geeking out. My kids are in it. All my kids are in it. So even my daughter. So
maybe we should do that together.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah,
I mean, the sparring would be really cool.
Yeah, the wrestling part of it and like trying to choke each other out. It's cool, man. You're literally learning how to kill people with your bare hands. It's really cool. What cooler sport is there?
I'm sure you can attest to this. I found it in my personal experiences because I did BJJ for about a year and a bit. I had the hip surgery. My surgeon told me like no more BJJ. Yeah. It's so hip dependent. Like please don't do this.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin all my nice work. And so then Muay Thai was like a great substitute for me because then I could still get that combat action, but without ruining my hip. And so I found both with the BJJ and the Muay Thai, like the environment that you're in, you would think it's just a bunch of meatheads looking to beat each other up and throw each other around. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like the most respectful environment I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody in those rooms have been humbled. So it's like I think everybody knows. Anybody that's gone into like. It's like when you go to the bar, you run into these guys that have never been in a real fight. They're like, I'm the toughest guy ever. I knocked out 30 people. Not one fair fight in their life. You know what I mean? Whereas you go into a jiu-jitsu gym or you go into an MMA gym, boxing gym, every single one of those guys in that gym has been in a situation where they've sparred somebody and they're halfway through the first round and they're like, holy shit. This guy is way above my caliber. He could flatline me right now if he wanted to. Thank God we're all respectful and just here to get better so we're not killing each other most of the time. But I think anybody that trains MMA, boxing, any sort of combat sports has been in a situation where they get in a ring and realize I am totally outclassed here. This guy could seriously hurt me if he wanted to. And generally they're not going to hurt you. They just want to get better, make you better. They'll give you pointers. But it is really cool. I always felt like I got along really well with anybody in combat sports because a majority of them are very humble guys and they realize that at the end of the day, there's always somebody out there that's a little bigger, a little stronger, and maybe a little tougher. So.
Yep. I've heard that many, many times. And they also have like a very similar mentality. Like they think very similarly as well. And maybe that's why you and I get along because we have a very similar way of thinking outside of, I try to stop pucks, you fight, but still the worldviews and whatnot I think we share are very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've always felt really at home at the gym. With the boxers and the fighters and stuff. And it is funny too because there's obviously the other side of it too where you get like a lot of guys with the similar characteristics where it's like some guy like the same guy, oh, he's late again, or it's, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, lost his keys. Oh, okay, he gets to the gym late. He's like, oh, I couldn't find my keys. I'm like, oh, sounds like me, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that too. Not everybody. I feel like MMA part less so, but I really like the MMA and the jiu-jitsu guys, their creativity and the way their brain works. I find they're very creative, because like to be in jiu-jitsu or to be in MMA, I feel like there's so many different things going on. You got to be very creative with it. It's almost more of an art, just like boxing is too, I think. But boxing is very like, it is very like, I feel like orthodox, like do it this way. And like, I feel like there's less guys going off the beaten path in boxing and doing things their own way, I guess you can say. Whereas I feel like in MMA, a lot of guys are like, hey, I'm going to start doing it this way and see how this works. Or maybe I'm going to low kick more and do these like crazy calf kicks. And like now they change the game. So it's like, I feel like I always like going into MMA gyms, and like I feel like I have really crazy deep conversations with a lot of people, because they're like more creative minded people, which I find myself to be too. That's kind of how my brain works, like an engineer's mind. Like I want to break things down and figure out new ways to do it. Like forget the way that we've all been taught to do it. I want to try and figure out a better way, or find out a way that works better for me. You know, so I always like that about MMA gyms and stuff like that. So
It's funny you mention that. There was a guy that I was chatting with for some tips, doing some sparring class the other day. And he was teaching me, like, when it comes to the low kicks, there's this one little spot, like right behind the knee. Like if you kick it the right way, it shuts the nerve off, and your opponent is just completely disabled. And I'm learning this, and I'm like, you're a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah,
because like I had no idea about this. And I asked him after, I was like, I want to grab a coffee after. He's like, oh, you want some more tips? I'm like, no, like I want to hang out with you.
Pick your brain.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain, just like as bros. He's like, oh, nobody's ever asked me that before. I'm like, well, great, I am now. Let's go hang out.
cool.
So,
yeah, it's cool. I've always found that about when I go to MMA gyms and jiu-jitsu guys and stuff. They're always fun to talk to and a little more creative minded. It helped me a lot when I was training for Ice Wars. I was training with my friend Caleb Starnes. He fought in the UFC, and he's a obviously MMA guy, jiu-jitsu, boxing, very strong puncher, very heavy-handed, obviously kickboxing, you name it, right? But it was fun to train with him because he's so creative-minded. He'd be like, hey, what do you do? He'd get me to explain a hockey fight to him, and I'd show him everything, like my moves and stuff like that. And then his brain would go, he'd be like, hey, what about this? You ever try this? And then we'd just start making things, and then we would just start making things up. We'd kind of just start coming up with new moves for ourselves and kind of trying to figure out. So it was really cool to train with him because of his creative mind and the way it was working. And for Ice Wars 1, we were coming up with all these new techniques that I've been trying and testing out along the way. And it's been really fun, but it was just cool to train with him originally. You know, I did the straight boxing with, Ken LaCusta and stuff like that. But to do that, I feel like helped me a lot too, so.
if I was to say that I think that maybe a Amesbury comeback in Danbury, would I be too far off on that?
Maybe at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any update on the lifetime ban?
I don't think there's a lifetime ban.
No, the indefinite suspension?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty tough to stop me from coming and playing in that league now. I've been playing in the ECHL. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, how could the league say I'm not eligible to play if I've been playing in the ECHL for consecutive seasons, you know? So
I figured AJ taking over Danbury.
Yeah, like of course, there's nothing I want to do more, and I feel like that's where I'm going to retire. But, you know, I've talked to AJ about this in the past. I feel like I got tread on the tires. I have big goals still with hockey. I haven't attained them yet. I got lots of life left too. Like, I feel like I still got, I'll probably play till I'm 40, like 39. We'll see how the body holds up. But I feel like I got lots of tread on the tires. So I don't think I'm your normal 34-year-old. I had 8 years off. It served me very well. In that 8 years, made me hungry for the game again. My body wasn't getting abused like normal, like a guy like me would have. Mm-hmm. I feel like generally, you're running into a 34-year-old that's doing the job that I'm doing. If he's been doing it since he was 16, by the time he's 34, he's probably pretty tired. He's probably pretty beat up, you know? So I find myself a very unique situation because I had the time off, so my body didn't get totally abused. I grew spiritually, emotionally, physically. I learned all these life lessons. I got all these life skills that I was able to bring into the game now, but I got a lot more tread on the tires than maybe some would think at this age. So I feel like I got a good 4 or 5 seasons left. Like, we'll see how things go, but I definitely know I will play a game in Danbury again one day. So
That'll be exciting to see you wear the Trashers jersey. I'm sure AJ will take the whole rebrand over, and
that
would be kind of cool to see that the Trashers come back, like the jerseys, the logo, and everything. Those are the sickest jerseys. The white one's cool, but like the black one with Scrappy the trash can, that's probably one of the top 3 greatest jerseys of all time.
Yeah,
and I just say top 3 because I can't think of all the jerseys off the top of my head, but that sticks in my mind.
That's like my favorite jersey. He gave me a jersey, a black Amesbury jersey, and then the numbers are like almost like not bedazzled, but like they're kind of shiny, which like normally I don't know if I would like that because it's kind of like flashy, but with the black and the blue and the silver, it looks so good. It's literally my favorite Amesbury jersey that I got, and yeah, man, that whole team, just the whole brand. When I was a kid, whenever I'd do like be a pro teams and like create teams in NHL, it was always black and blue. I don't know why. So like when I come back to Trashers, I was talking to AJ about that too. He's like, me too. I wonder if it had something to do with watching wrestling, because we kind of both grew up in the same era of 1990s, Attitude Era, early 2000s wrestling. Yeah, super cool. I love the Trashers brand, and why they called it the brand. Obviously, his dad owned the trash company and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah,
the documentary is fantastic too. If nobody's if anybody hasn't had a chance to watch it,
Untold Crime and Penalties.
Yep.
Yeah, on Netflix.
The Danbury Trashers. 2 seasons, only 2 seasons. FBI raid cancels everything. I don't want to spoil everything, but man, it was the fact that he had the awareness to like start filming everything and then keep it, and then getting it back from the FBI minus the Scrappy the trash can costume. Like what a great decision that was. But from a goaltender's perspective, that blue and that black with that touch of silver, like silver is such a great accent. Like if I was to ever come back playing, the black and blue setup with a little bit of silver, like there's so many amazing color combinations, sweet masks you could do. The Trashers are definitely up there.
Yeah, super cool. It's nice to see him back in the game. It's cool because when I came out of retirement, like we both kind of we went through the same phases with hockey. Like he had his abrupt ending to hockey. He was away from the game for a long time. He kind of, I don't want to say hated the game, but he had a sour taste in his mouth. He didn't go into a rink. He didn't want to watch it. Didn't want to be around it. And I was kind of the same way. Like I'd try to go watch games and I could literally almost cry walking into the arena. I was so hurt as to how it ended. And I had all these big goals and I was on the trajectory and it was crash and burn. And I felt like I had more in me. And he went through the same thing. And when he did Ice Wars, he's obviously the one that started Ice Wars. And when he did Ice Wars, and then we decided I was going to come out of retirement and play hockey again, we both kind of came back into the rink together. He started coming and watching my games, and then I could see him. I go over every day after practice. I'd walk over to his gym, and I'd sit in his office. That's why we started the podcast, because I'd sit in his office and we'd just chop it up for like 2-3 hours, and then we'd be like, man, we should really be recording these conversations. Like the stuff we're talking about is hilarious. So then that's how we started the pod. But I could tell as I'd come, it was like all the time I'd go hang out with him after practice. And then next thing you know, I could see this fire for hockey coming back for AJ. And obviously it already came back for me too, right? So, and then it started coming for him, and I knew over the last few years he was going to be back in the rink. Like I knew he was going to be somehow back working with the hat tricks, or I knew there was something coming. I could feel it, and he was kind of starting to say a little bit. He's like, I kind of starting to get the itch again. Like, I don't know, I don't want to say it. And then next thing you know, now he's the GM of obviously the Hat Tricks, and I think he's doing a really good job right now. I feel like he's got a really good team so far, and he's got some more stuff cooking, and he's working his ass off right now to give Danbury the best team he possibly can, and something that they can build over time and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see and to watch him just be fired up over hockey again. And I mean, me too. It's the same thing. So me and AJ have obviously become very close over the last 5 years, and it's been all because of hockey and Ice Wars and stuff, so it's been pretty cool.
What's the plan of the podcast though? Because you guys were going strong for a while, and it seems that the podcast has kind of died out.
Yeah, we got some plans coming up. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but we got some stuff coming up pretty soon. We'll be able to get a lot more. And then
I was going to say to you, like as a loyal listener, like I would listen every single week.
Yeah.
And now I had nothing to listen to. I'm like, what am I going to listen to?
It was a little harder when we were traveling and stuff. Obviously, I got the kids and we were bouncing around and stuff, and the setups and stuff like that. But we got some plans for upcoming, how to make it a little bit easier and stuff like that. So we're excited about it. But I feel like we're going to have more of an expansion now on the podcast and what we're going to be doing with it. So
What does that mean?
like we're going to kind of touch on different things. We're going to kind of expand what we've been doing rather than just focusing on the one thing. We're going to kind of talk to different types of people, maybe not just talking about hockey, and we're going to spread our podcast a little bit more and kind of try some new things and stuff. So
Like different interviews.
yeah, exactly. And just, maybe touching in the boxing world a little bit more, maybe some wrestling stuff, like just kind of mixing it up a little bit more and kind of being a little bit more dynamic and kind of just bringing everything together and like just sports in general and realizing how many athletes in general have all these different things in common. So
when can I expect a new episode in my podcast feed?
I don't know, hopefully soon. There might be one or two in the bank right now, actually.
Oh.
I don't know.
I need someone to listen to. So whenever you're ready, let me know. I'll listen.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I want to finish off with you, unless there's anything you want to, any thanks that you want to give to anybody that's helped you along the way or whatnot.
Oh, just obviously my wife and kids. Like, there's obviously, nobody else I could. Well, I say wife, but not married. But
Yep.
Jamie and the kids. There's nobody I could thank more for, just being there, supporting me through it, and just, I mean, I wouldn't, like I said it already in the podcast, I wouldn't be here. And then AJ's dad, Jimmy, both of them, like, the Galante family have just, been amazing for getting me here. I probably wouldn't have came out of retirement if it wasn't for AJ. He's the one that kind of poked the bear and kind of woke me up, which I appreciate because, to be able to do this all over again and obviously building the platform and having a little more reach than I did before, being able to kind of give back through what we've built, it's very special. So,
On the topic of your wife and your kids, that was actually kind of where I wanted to finish things off as. A little bit deeper into the podcast for, if anybody's still listening, you're a loyal listener of our interview and the show so far, but as a father yourself and as for myself, somebody who's like looking to try to get myself in the position to become a father and to have kids and whatnot, do you have any advice that you would give me?
I think like one of the most important things and the thing that changed everything for me is when you're looking for essentially the mother of your child, keep that in mind and know that you're looking for the mother of your child. Because if you're just dating somebody that gives you all these things that makes you happy, maybe she's not going to be the greatest mother. Or maybe if you just have it in the back of your mind of what kind of mother would she be, or what kind of mother does she want to be a mother, if that's what you truly want, because I feel like that's helped me so much. Now I found her and now I'm going through all this stuff. I literally was able to pick like the best mother in the whole world that is at home homeschooling the kids. She has no problem. She's like, go on the road trip, I'll take care of the house. And I come back and I would say just, keeping that in the back of your mind. And then, obviously with the kids, just love is so important. I grew up such a hard ass, hard way where I feel like, maybe it was a very normal thing to like not tell your kids, well, I love you, oh, that's weird, kind of thing, where I love my kids, man. I make sure they know it. I'm still pretty stern with them. I raise them pretty hard. They're going to be tough, obviously. Like I've sent you some videos of how they are.
Oh, yeah.
But, I think at the end of the day, I think we all need more love. So, giving that to your wife and your kids, and obviously knowing that they have that. But when you're out there looking, I feel like it's a great thing to have in the back of your mind of like, do you think that this girl can give up all the stuff for herself, for her kids? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You kind of lose. You kind of end up going to the bottom of the totem pole as soon as the first kid comes.
Like you as the man go to the bottom of the totem pole?
Of course, yeah. And as parents, both parents, both of you are you're not, as soon as that first baby comes out, the baby goes up here and you both just come down here now, right? So now, number one is we got to make sure baby's taken care of, or what does baby need and stuff like that. So I think it's very important when you're, out there shopping and you're out there looking for your potentially future wife or future, mother of your children, is just know that, can she make that sacrifice? Because it's a big sacrifice. It's very difficult, but there's no better reward at the end of the tunnel than a beautiful young child that loves you more than anyone can. So
A happy, healthy family.
yeah, exactly.
That's my goal. You've accomplished that. I'm looking to try to get, I know you got a few years on me, but looking to try to get more towards that. But
Yeah.
look for somebody selfless, not somebody selfish.
Yes, exactly. Most importantly.
Okay. I think it's a fantastic way to wrap up on it. What do you say?
Yeah, great.
Well, everybody, this has been the baddest man in hockey, the toughest act in pro sports, as he calls himself. He punches and he bunches. FPHL champion, two-time guest, Shake it once, that's okay. Shake it twice, that's fine. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with yourself. Daniel, Diamond Ends Amesbury. If anybody wants to follow you on Instagram, it is Ames2Berry.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
And then Talking Trash podcast will return hopefully sometime soon with you and AJ Galante.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
YouTube, Apple, Spotify. This is Slinging the Biscuit. We do new episodes every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 in the prairies, 9 in the foothills of Calgary, 8 in the Pacific Northwest, including right here in downtown Kelowna. We'll see you next Sunday for the next interview in the summer series. Boom.
Deadly. That was deadly. Sweet.
That was good, dude. That was smooth.
That was different. I've never done one podcast where you talk to the family so much. This is good.